Okay guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sabrina if you're new here. So a lot of you guys over the last couple months have asked me about how I've gotten to my interior design style, which is minimalist Scandinavian. I think I'm starting to stray away from the minimalist side, but I do still classify it as minimalist Scandinavian. And now I hesitated about making this video specifically because I'm not an interior designer. I did not go to school for interior design, but I wholeheartedly love interior design. Today, I want to give you guys some tips on how I kind of achieved this style, the Scandinavian minimalist style, give you a little bit of history about it, how to kind of achieve it, and how to do it affordably. There are two different styles that I have in my home, and those are the two that I feel most comfortable speaking on. I don't really want to migrate into different areas of interior design. Again, like I said, I'm just not that person, but I can give you my input on what I've done in my space. So I like to classify more so my living room as more of a minimalist Scandinavian design, and then inside my bedroom is more mid-century modern. Now they share a lot of similarities, but they are different. They are different, and I'm gonna explain exactly how. Let's start with Scandinavian design first because that's what I frequently talk about more so on this channel. Scandinavian design targets a more simplistic, minimalist, and modern look in a space. So you're not going to have a lot of clutter, which is really good. You're gonna have a lot more airy spaces, more modern furniture, which are clean lined, straight furniture. You're not going to see the more decorated, ornate, extreme craftsmanship when it comes to furniture. And you're gonna have like straight leg furniture, peg leg furniture, a lot of furniture off the floor. For Scandinavian design specifically, you'll see a lot of light wood included in that design. So blonde wood. In my living room, I have I believe it's called like a maple wood, which is very much lighter. Scandinavian design was introduced from the Scandinavian countries where their winters are a lot longer. So they do also receive a lot less light and their days are a lot shorter. So in order to bring in the light into their homes and not sacrifice the lighting that they have outside, they like to use a lot of light and airy colors as well as large windows. So they like to bring in a lot of light, and they like to have a lot of white walls to kind of bounce the light around, and a lot of light furniture as well. That way they can kind of maximize the amount of light that they get throughout the day. They will stick to a lot of neutral colors, your grays, your tans, your beiges, your whites, creams. They do throw elements of black in there. In my living room, I have a lot of elements of black. I do like that to add more of the modern aspect of Scandinavian design and less of the more wood aspect. That's not to say that Scandinavian design doesn't like color at all. They do like color, it's just not as deep and rich as you would find in like a mid-century modern design. So in Scandinavian, you'll have your lighter, or I like to call them dusty, that's the way I interpret them, dusty blues, your pastel pinks, and your like earth greens. That's the colors that they usually like to bring in, and they still keep the space light and airy without adding too much darkness from heavy, rich colors. I do have wood aspects in my living room. I do have it on my coffee table. I have it as accents and decor in my bookshelves. So I do like to incorporate wood, but I also do prefer more of the black metal accents in my home, and that leans more towards the minimalist modern style, but I like to mix it with my Scandinavian style. If you're not really that much of a fan of color, this design might be for you. Specifically, like for me, I don't really like color all that much. In my space, you'll see a lot of neutral colors, gray, white, black, aspects of wood, and then certain textures as well. I do have some rattan and woven textures in my apartment as well. That's how I kind of include the Scandinavian design into my living room. You'll see them in my bookshelves. You'll see it through the poof on the floor that I keep. Because they also live in a very wintry climate, they do like to bring in a lot of textures of warmth. My Scandinavian friends, please don't come for me, but I think it's called hygge. I think that's how you say it. If I'm saying it wrong, let me know. But that's just pretty much, it means coziness. The aspects of wool, chunky knit blankets, faux fur items, a lot of linen as well. Typically, you won't find curtains in the Scandinavian design. Like I mentioned, they do like light, big windows with usually no curtains on them. But if you do find curtains, they will stick more towards the light and airy side of things. So like your linen curtains, very sheer light curtains, if you find curtains at all in a Scandinavian design. Now, if we talk about furniture specifically, you'll find things like very plush sofas with pillowback sofas. So a lot of the sofas, they won't be as intricate in design. You're not going to find like a very curvy, ornate furniture with a lot of curved arms and stuff. You're not going to find that, but you are going to find a light sofa, grays, beiges, light colors that have a lot of pillows on it to keep it with the plush kind of feeling. You'll find the sofas are usually off the floor. Flipping over to mid-century modern, which I can kind of say is a little bit in my bedroom. That's kind of the design I was going for more so in here. They are similar yet different. Actually, they're more different than you think. The only thing that's really similar about these two designs is the furniture aesthetic. The way the furniture is created, the shapes of the furniture, the more simplistic design of the furniture. That's really the only thing that's pretty similar about them, but they're actually more different than you think. A lot of people don't just have one design style that they kind of go by. It's usually a mix, which is like what I mentioned. I have a lot of modern Scandinavian in my living room and a lot more, I would consider this to be mid-century Scandinavian, a little bit of a mix, because I don't really have that much color in my space, but I do have more of the darker wood aspects, a lot of the traditional peg style nightstands. If you check my nightstands on either side, they are very, very mid-century modern. So one of the main things, if you like color, this might be for you. There are a lot of pops of color in mid-century design. So usually you'll take about 3 different colors, and they're a lot more rich colors, dark blues, dark navy blues, oranges, yellows. Think the 60s, the 70s, this was really big back then. This is where this design kind of originates from. Similar to Scandinavian, but like I mentioned, a lot more color, a lot more geometric patterns. Like I mentioned, if you like color, this is the design style for you, but if you also like modern looking furniture, this will also work for you as well. You won't really see a lot of color like this in Scandinavian design. Like I mentioned, it's more of the neutral palette. Here you can explore a lot more with color. You will see darker walls, a lot more colorful carpets with more geometric patterns. You'll see patterns and stuff in Scandinavian design as well, but it is a lot softer, a lot more muted in patterns, and you're not going to see very large shapes. You'll see a lot more larger shapes in the mid-century design than you will in Scandinavian. The focus is truly more so on patterns rather than texture. You'll also know that the woods are a lot darker in mid-century design. Specifically, if you look here, my headboard is a lot more of a walnut wood, as well as my nightstands. So these are the woods that you can see in Scandinavian design, but you usually don't. You usually see more light woods, more darker walnut woods you'll find in mid-century designs. Another similarity that you will find is again with the peg leg styles, a lot of furniture that is off the floor, a lot of geometric kind of furniture, so maybe something that is a little bit more asymmetrical you'll find in the mid-century design. Another thing that differs from this style versus Scandinavian is that you have more of a tight back sofa. So as in Scandinavian design, you have more of a fluffy but more clean line still sofa, but here in the mid-century modern, you usually find more tufted or tight back sofas. You'll usually find a more clean looking sofa with unique shapes, I would say. You can usually find a unique shaped sofa in the mid-century design. So you do have a lot of funky looking shapes. You'll find things like the Herman Miller chair. You'll find things like the egg chair. Those are iconic pieces of furniture that are a part of this mid-century design that have been around since the 50s, the 60s, and 70s, and are still really popular and really expensive to this day. Before I mentioned that you won't find as many textures when it comes to mid-century design, but you will find a few of them. So like leather, that's really big in mid-century modern design. You'll find it in leather chairs, leather pillow accents, leather sofas, leather tight back sofas. You'll find leather pretty often in that design space. You'll also find a lot of mixed metals. You'll find like copper, mixed metals, brass. You're looking for more of the warm metals that you'll find more so in this design space. You'll also find platform beds. Platform beds are really big in the mid-century modern as well as Scandinavian design. Those are some of the points that I wanted to touch on explaining the kind of design style related to mid-century modern and Scandinavian style. Now I want to tell you guys exactly where you can find these things at an affordable price, because if you know me, you know that I'm not a big proponent. I don't like spending a lot of money on items. If I can find them cheaper that are still of really good quality, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna share with you a few places where you can find these items at an affordable price. Mainly, if you search pretty hard, there are some more higher end options, but they're not too overly high end where they're like thousands and thousands of dollars. But if we start with the first and most iconic, obviously, is IKEA. It's a Scandinavian company. Obviously, a lot of their furniture is based around Scandinavian design. Also mid-century, you can find that here as well. Obviously, IKEA is really affordable. A lot of people shop at IKEA. This is one of my favorite places to get a lot of my decor, but be careful with going with a lot of IKEA products in your space because it can make your space look cheap. Another place that I like to shop and find mid-century and Scandinavian design is Target. Y'all know I love me some Target, okay? And believe it or not, things like Studio McGee and Joanna Gaines, you will find aspects, even though Joanna Gaines is more modern farmhouse, you can find aspects that kind of translate over into these mid-century modern designs as well as Scandinavian designs. Keep an eye out for that. Just make sure you follow the list of things that I mentioned before when looking for these pieces in Target. Another place that I do like to shop is places like All Modern, Wayfair, and even Overstock. There are a mix of items that you can find in these places. Like my bed right here, it's originally from All Modern. They no longer have it on All Modern. This is a more mid-century modern bed. It is a platform bed. And then you have things like my dresser that I got also from, I think I got these actually from Amazon. Keep an eye out on Amazon. If you type in like Scandinavian mid-century furniture, you might find some things over there as well. Another one, a big one, West Elm. West Elm is a little bit more pricey, but you will find things like these nightstand tables that I have on the side. You will find platform beds. You'll find a lot more mid-century in West Elm, but you will also find aspects of Scandinavian. Just again, think about the textures, think about the colors, and you'll be able to determine which is which. If you're looking for furniture pieces, I recommend Article or Casterly. These are two furniture companies. I have not purchased from them myself, but I do look at their furniture often, and it is very reminiscent of these two different design styles. And their prices are pretty affordable, I would say, for furniture. Another place that I like to buy a lot of my more modern design, my modern aesthetics, and a lot of my filler decor items is from H&M Home. H&M Home is mad cheap, okay? And their design is really trendy, but they also kind of fit in both the mid-century and modern designs. So those are a couple of the places that I like to shop. If you guys are aware of any other places, be sure to comment them down below. Yeah, so this brings me to the end of the video. If you watched it this far, you might as well click on my face right here, subscribe to my channel. If you have not seen my apartment tours, be sure to check out my bedroom tour. You'll see more of a mid-century modern vibe, or my living room tour, which you'll see a more modern Scandinavian vibe. All right, I'll catch you guys in my next one. Peace.